County sheriffs from across the Empire State gathered in Albany today, calling on lawmakers to address their concerns about recent deaths of law enforcement officers killed in the line of duty.
And our New York Capitol correspondent Elise Klein joins us live from Albany to tell us more about the message that these elected law enforcement officials brought to Albany. Elise?
Nick, Renata, good evening. There were many county sheriffs gathered in the Capitol here earlier today, all sharing concern over 4 fellow officers who died in the line of duty recently. They say state lawmakers here in Albany have a responsibility to make changes. An end to open season on police officers is the call of the New York State Sheriff's Association. Sheriffs from across the state gathered in the New York State Capitol to call on lawmakers to take action by making changes such as revisiting the state's bail laws and the age of criminal responsibility.
More reforms need to be made to bail reform. I mean, it all boils back to this. There is no sense of accountability from our perspective with people that we deal with anymore.
There have been several changes to the bail laws in New York in recent years, the most recent made during last year's budget process. The change eliminated the least restrictive means standard, which allows judges more discretion when considering bail in serious criminal cases. Some advocates with the Center for Community Alternatives worry some law enforcement officers could be using fear tactics.
The legitimate safety concerns that the law enforcement has, it needs to be grounded on factual evidence and constructive dialogue.
Other advocates say there is a perception of increased crime that often opposes statistical data.
There's kind of this perception that there's been this huge spike in crime, that there's been more violence, that there's been more violence towards police officers. But I do think a lot of that is more based on perception and, isn't really statistically bearing out, particularly if you look at, decades and decades of data.
Many sheriffs say they also worry about the level of resource support from the state, saying some proposals in the budget, such as creating new task forces to tackle retail crimes, didn't go far enough.
What's the point of putting all these people at risk, such as we did the Genesee Sheriff Sergeant, when the person, when he's going to get injured to the fact where he's still in the hospital with 2 brain bleeds, and the person's released on appearance tickets?
Now that the budget has made it over the finish line, there will likely be more discussions here in Albany about policy around the criminal justice system. But right now, lawmakers are in recess for about 2 weeks and are planned to return for legislative session on May 6th. Nick, Renata, back to you.